Our Vegas fantasy. It's not what you think. No, it's not what you think. Or is it what you think, Ken, at this point?
I think by week 15, 16, what is it?
14.
Week 14. Yeah, it's what you think.
It's what you think. Hey, it's Our Vegas fantasy. I'm Kenny Davidsen, and co-hosting with me, replacing Christina Shaw for 1 week as she is in Hawaii for the wedding of one of her best friends.
It sounds awful.
But we have a great replacement this week. Our wonderful producer of this show from Simbin.Vegas, Ken Bolke.
All Ken show.
It's the All Ken show.
Wow.
It's the All Ken edition of Our Vegas fantasy.
I don't think I've ever done a show with another person named Ken.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know a lot of Kens, do you?
No, I don't.
Me either.
What's it like?
So far it's all right. It's okay.
Yeah, we'll see in about 45 minutes.
Yeah,
or
I
so.
mean, I don't.
Yeah.
It seems fine.
Yeah. So
It's one of my favorite things about podcasts is right now you just said we'll see in 45 minutes.
Yeah.
But the person listening to this right now knows exactly how long it's going to be, but we don't.
that's true.
Weird.
This could be an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They know.
They have it because they have it. They have a time
Correct.
at the end of it.
But we
don't
don't know.
We
Right.
could. We could be way over. We could be doing this for 2 hours.
Isn't that
Actually,
weird?
we can't be doing this for 2 hours because you've got a game
That's
to
great.
watch
I got to
tonight.
go watch the Golden Knights play against the Washington Capitals.
That's right.
See how they do.
Stanley Cup rematch.
Again.
Yeah, and they lost the first one.
Disastrously.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's a little later, and the Knights are playing a lot better.
They're at times.
Yeah.
They play better against bad teams.
Okay.
Today's a good team.
This is a good team.
So
today.
we'll see.
So we'll see what happens.
We'll see.
So who played better this week? The Tampa Bay Bucks played a lot better.
They
this
did.
Week.
They
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
My boy Jameis is good and good at fantasy and good at real life. And I don't know about what he's doing off the field, but I'm not going to worry
Well,
about
he's doing
that.
better off the field than Kareem Hunt is.
Well,
Yeah.
that
Gee
was
whiz.
not ideal.
No.
He probably shouldn't have done that.
Isn't
I
it
think
nice
he'd
to
agree with me.
Isn't it nice to wake up on a Friday morning, or at least, in my case, Friday morning, because it's at 1 p.m. on a Friday, and then your phone's blowing up with all these messages about Kareem Hunt,
Yeah.
and you're like literally scrambling through all your 24 leagues to
oh,
see if
boy.
Spencer Ware is available.
Oh, yeah, it's a
And-
rush.
Oh, yeah, and I picked him up in 4 leagues, but of course the one where I really needed him, I didn't get him.
I'm
But-
interested in your perspective on what you would have done in my situation.
Okay, go ahead.
So my team, I one league I gave up. I needed to start tanking because it's a keeper league and I need the good pick for next year,
Okay.
so I'm not doing anything. But the other league, there's a $2 fee for making a claim. So if you pick a player up, it's $2. I'm in a situation where I needed to win and I needed 2 other teams to lose that weren't playing each other. So it was possible.
Okay.
But I wasn't willing to risk the $2 because that's a lot to ask. I need to win. I need 2 teams to lose. And then just with that, then tiebreakers come into play. And I wasn't 100% sure how the tiebreakers went. So I was like, I'm not wasting the $2. Correct decision. I won. Other team won. I'm out.
Were they favored in one of the matchups?
Both teams were favored.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, you're in bad shape.
You're in bad shape.
And you're not paying the $2.
All right, so you save $2.
Yeah.
You don't get Spencer Ware.
It's the first time I missed the playoffs in 7 years.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. I was 6-7, so it's like,
So you have no playoff teams this year?
no.
Oh, man.
And the Bucks are awful.
Yeah. So you're footballed out at
Yeah,
this point.
it's a good
in
thing
week
hockey
13.
exists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, I have 24 leagues. I got 19 left. So 5
Okay,
dead.
5 are gone.
5 dead.
Wait, 19 are in the playoffs or
So
the
no.
playoffs start?
13 in the playoffs, and 6 of them play a week 14.
Okay.
And one of those is definitely going to get in. So it's 14 in. And then the other 5
Need help.
are pretty much a win and in situation.
Nice.
On the other 5, I literally, I don't know if you play these Yahoo Pro Leagues, and they play a 14-week regular season. They're 10-team leagues, 14-week regular season.
Okay.
Top 4 make the playoffs. And in every one of those leagues, I'm 7-6. Every
Wow.
one of them.
Wow.
It's weird.
That is weird.
It's very weird.
But 7-6 is good.
7-6 is good, and 8-6 is going to get
8 and
me
6 is in always.
in every league but one. One of them I'm going to need help with the 8-6.
What, there's got to be like 2 12-0s and
No,
2
there's,
0 and
there's 2 teams that are going to get to. I think then have 8-6, but have tiebreakers over
Well,
me because my
there's-
total
yeah.
points stink.
the
in that
key is
league.
not having teams that are 0-12 or 0-13 or whatever, because
Yeah.
that makes the playoff bar pushed a little bit higher.
Yeah, and seemingly in these pro leagues we don't get it. So I'm literally in all those leagues except for the one where I need the help. I'm a win and in situation. But I'm in 13 leagues and I got first round bye in 5 of them.
Wow.
So it's
Not
all right.
bad.
Not bad. Yeah. So all my, I have only 5 teams at 6 and 7, 1 at 4 and 9, and then the rest were 7 and 6 and better.
When you go in 24 teams, right?
Yeah.
When you go into a season, how many leagues do you need to win in your mind?
In my mind, 5.
Out of 24.
I want to be in the finals. I mean, I want to win all 24.
Because
in reality, it's not going to happen.
In reality, you should win 2. If they're all 12-team leagues, you should win 2.
I want to do better than that.
You obviously want to do better than that.
Yeah.
I mean, 5. That's pretty impressive. I think 5.
If I can
you win
5. Look, I was in 15 last year, and I had 5 second-place finishes.
Are they all cash?
All cash.
Wow.
Yeah.
So just making the playoffs with all of them, you're in pretty good shape.
Well,
to
but
make
you
some
don't
money
get paid.
back.
You don't get paid.
Well,
for
you need a win or 2.
I gotta get a win. And the worst part is that 3 of the 5 big money leagues I have are gone.
You have no leagues that pay for division?
No.
Really?
No, I have leagues that pay for first overall, but we don't do divisions. We do just one division, first overall. And I didn't finish first overall in any league. I have a lot of second place finishes, but I don't have one first place overall finish. But I got a lot of teams that are in good shape, you know?
Right now, how many are you projecting to win the league?
I think I'm going to win 4. But it's not enough. No, but you don't know. Because, there's a lot of waivers this week.
Crazy stuff happens.
There's a lot of crazy stuff happening. I have a lot of very good teams, but I don't have one team that I look at. I'm like, oh, this is a great team.
That's a no-brainer.
I don't have it.
You don't have Mahomes enough.
I have Mahomes, and I have Connor, and I just lost Connor.
Yeah.
Right? So that's all of a sudden, that went from the no-brainer to
that's the James Conner thing. It's like the world correcting itself.
Oh, sure. You're right.
It's like, you're not supposed to have James Conner the whole time.
Right.
I'm an idiot. Personally, I traded James Conner in week 1, after week 1, thinking this is the highest he's going to be at. I needed a tight end, which I actually didn't need a tight end. Turned out to be a bad move. That probably gets me in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But what are you going to do?
Right.
I thought it was the right play at the time. And then now if I had James Conner, I'd just be upset with myself because now he's out.
Yeah. So. And now you're scrambling for Jalen Samuels and
well, I'm not scrambling for anyone.
You are in hockey land.
That's right.
So there you go.
That doesn't mean I'm not going to watch football. I still enjoy watching the Bucs play.
Yeah,
And I'll watch Red Zone.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Things might turn around this week. There were teams that I also like. There were 2 teams I thought were sure to win, and they were Kareem Hunt teams.
Yeah.
And now lose Kareem
How do
Hunt.
you watch football with 24 teams?
Red
Zone?
No, I go to Suncoast.
You go to somewhere.
And there's in the showroom, they put 10 TVs up.
Yeah.
And I sit there with my computer, and I'm just watching every game. I have a little piece of every game that I can see.
Wow.
So I don't miss
much
big stuff.
Yeah.
I miss a lot of small stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously, but I don't miss big stuff.
And are you more a Giants fan or a Jets fan?
Neither. I guess kind of the Giants,
okay,
but I really I've lost my emotional investment.
That's always my challenge is how much time do I want to invest into the team I actually like and then the team that I picked?
Yeah.
And so I tend to watch the Bucs game and then I try to watch Red Zone on the other channel. But then Red Zone's not going to give you everything you need.
Yeah.
Red Zone doesn't show all the runs you need, all the runs you want to see, everything you want to see. So it's tough, but when the Bucs are terrible, like every single year at this time, I usually am back to Red Zone, so I'm in good shape.
And that's how Christina is with the Eagles. I mean, I think
that's
her,
number one.
The Eagles winning it all is way more
of
important to
course.
her. For me, it's like if the Giants win it all, if I didn't win a league, I'm like, okay, whatever.
That's no good.
Yeah.
Wow.
As opposed to the
the playoffs, just that's it.
I'll watch.
Right, but it's
I'm invested, and I'll make bets.
Have you played in any of those crazy things where you pick daily? It's basically daily fantasy on a playoff week.
No.
Well, you
and
should
also,
try that.
Before DFS was banned in Nevada.
Well,
I mean, I was doing FanDuel and I was doing DraftKings and all that, but now we can't play that here.
Well, there's always
there are ways.
There's always a way.
There are ways, but hey, who knows? Now we talked about Mahomes. So you didn't have Mahomes in any leagues, right?
I didn't have Mahomes at all.
He had if you had a 6-point quarterback league, you had 41 points this week.
For the third time this year.
For the third time this year. It's insane. But now,
he's good.
Here's the thing. Baltimore comes to town this week. Will he crap the bed for the first time all year?
I doubt it.
You think he's matching?
It's in Kansas City,
It's in
right?
Kansas City.
Yeah, I think he's matchup proof to a certain degree. I'm not saying he's going to get 41.
No.
But I think that he's certainly not going to be below maybe 18.
Right.
I mean, how do they not score? They give up so many points that they're going to have to score, and they know that going in. I mean, they give up points to everybody. Their defense is horrible, so they know they've got going in. They know they need 28 points.
Yeah.
And they can't rely on the running back as much as they did before.
No. And you watch Spencer
Granted, he
Ware
may have
this
helped
week.
them as much as he as a receiver as he did a running back, but
Yeah, no, that's true too. And when you watched Ware this week, you're kind of like,
he's just a guy.
He's just a guy.
Yeah.
He is just a guy. He's in a great system.
And now
but
West
he's
is
just a guy.
back.
And West is back. Yeah.
Which is like supposedly Kareem Hunt light.
Eh,
He's not, but
he's
like
not.
he's supposed to fill the role.
They really lose a lot with Kareem Hunt out. It kills him. It does kill him. Like this week, if I had Kareem Hunt, there's no question I'm starting him. And with Ware, I have questions about starting him against Baltimore. I'm not sure.
I wouldn't.
You're gonna play.
There's better options. There's going to be better options. And if you picked up Spencer Ware to replace Kareem Hunt, you should have a better option. Otherwise, your team's not very deep.
No, but sometimes you don't. That's the thing.
What's your start sit with playing Ware?
I have a start sit with Ware. What was it that I had? I can't remember the league I have it in.
But you have no other options.
There's a league I'm not playing him. I have a start sit with him versus David Johnson. So I'm playing David Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's for sure.
But even then, I'd play wide receivers.
Mm-hmm.
Most leagues you can play only one running back.
Right. But there's a week where I lost Hunt and Breida.
That's trouble.
So I'm playing Ware.
That's trouble.
Right.
Yeah, well your backup option also got the boot.
Right.
So that's no good.
So you're stuck.
Yeah,
unless you pick up Jalen Samuels or Justin Jackson or Wilson Jr. Jeff Wilson Jr.
Yeah, I'm not a waiver. These waiver names are not for me this week.
Yeah,
they're really not.
Well, I'm all over the waivers.
And I think that tends to come. I think I tend to get in that position when I've had a team that makes the playoffs. I think it's easier when you only have one or two teams compared to your 24,
right? Where
you have a little bit more of like, these guys got me here. I'm not going to pick up Jeff Wilson Jr. to now play a playoff game. Like, come on. And I think that's happens in real sports too. That you ride your way to the final or to the playoffs or whatever, and then you're like, well, do I put the guy back in? Do we put in a backup here? Like, what do we do? This guy got us here. Is this guy actually good enough? And it sometimes coaches get fired because of it.
Yeah.
And you should get fired as a fantasy manager if you screw it up.
I think,
like if Jeff Wilson gets 2 points this week, you should get fired.
I think fantasy football is a little different. Remember a couple years ago, Tim Hightower came out of nowhere and won fantasy leagues. Guys like this come off the street.
You think
and win fantasy leagues
of Jalen Samuels, Justin Jackson, or Jeff Wilson's winning a fantasy league?
Yeah.
Which one?
Jalen Samuels.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Because also in Yahoo he's tight end eligible. So which is a mistake Yahoo made. So there are basically 5 tight ends that you're starting over Jalen Samuels this week. You're starting Ebron, Kelsey, Ertz, one other one. There was one other. Oh, Kittle. You're starting him. And maybe Njoku because he's got a good matchup, but that's
Brate
that's
should
iffy.
be above him. Brate should be above him.
Brate hasn't been that great.
He scores a touchdown every week.
He's not been great. I think Jalen Samuels could get 15, 20 points this week.
Really?
So, yes, absolutely. With Connor out.
Who are they playing?
They're playing the Oakland Raiders.
Yeah. I always have the same thought every single time is we always do this where a guy has a great year and we think that position is getting the points over the player. We always think number 1 receiver, X team, number 1 running back, X team. You fill in any player there that they're going to get the points. I just don't buy that it'll happen. Now, granted, as a tight end, of course, that's a better option. But I just don't think you can expect anything near James Conner production out of him.
No, but historically, the Pittsburgh Steelers running back is an RB1 in any whoever it is.
It's been the same guy.
Right, but not always. Remember when D'Angelo Williams was replacing Le'Veon Bell. D'Angelo Williams was an RB1.
You're right. He was pretty
right?
good.
He's an RB1.
You're right.
And historically, the Kansas City running back is an RB1. Whether it was Jamal Charles.
With Reed.
With Reed. Jamal Charles, Spencer Ware.
Yeah.
and then Kareem Hunt.
Yeah. Maybe not against Baltimore.
No, not in Baltimore. No, there are definitely systems. There are definitely systems where it's not. Like Atlanta. You lost Devonta Freeman. Tevin Coleman's been crap.
He's not good.
So, yeah, he's not very good. And you know what? The thing is, Spencer Ware is not that good. I would actually think he's going to be more of an RB2, but he is going to produce. He's not going to do nothing.
Should get his touches.
Yeah, he'll get 18 touches a game. He's not going to get you 25.
No.
But he might get you 15.
And I don't think they're going to trust him.
No, I don't think so either.
You get in the red zone, they're all pass.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll run the little shovel pass thing that these teams love to do now.
Yes.
I can't stand that crap.
Yeah.
They hike it and the guy gets all into traffic and they do the little shovel pass to him. It just screams. Ugh. I don't know. It just makes me nervous every time I see it. Maybe it's just because the Bucs are terrible.
Do you have let me ask you if you had these guys who were great this week. Do you have Tariq Cohen or Phillip Lindsay? Do you have any of them?
I did not have either.
Yeah.
My team was playing against an awful team this week. The best players, like DeAndre Hopkins, is a monster for me every single week.
Yeah.
Jameis was better, not great.
Yeah.
But no, I don't have like any of the spark plugs. The only one that's even remotely there is the running back in Miami that I can't think of his name right now.
Drake. Yeah.
Kenyon Drake, who
But
just
they don't
pissed
use
me
him
off all
right.
year.
So
Yeah,
that's
just pissed me off all year.
Oh, you know, he's
but he's, I mean,
nightmare.
very rarely, and I sit here and do your show every single time.
Right.
Very rarely are the fantasy highs on my team.
No.
That doesn't mean I lose every week, but I'm much more of a consistency type of guy. I'd much rather have the DeAndre Hopkins than even the Tariq Hill.
Yeah.
Simply because I know what I'm getting out of DeAndre Hopkins every single week.
No, I'm agreeing with you.
No matter what.
Hill's one of those guys that is, this past week, Hill was terrible.
He's awful. I can't deal with that.
No, I get that.
And that's more so because I trust I'm going to make the playoffs, which I probably shouldn't because I didn't. But then once you get in the playoffs, you have to have consistent players or you're not winning the championship.
That's true.
It's not happening.
Yeah.
You may win a week. You may upset somebody. You might be the 6th seed and beat the 1 seed, but you're not winning the championship if you have a bunch of the hot and cold guys.
No. Well, I'll tell you who's been hot, though. Phillip Lindsay is hot all year.
It's been great.
And right now,
great.
He's the guy.
That's another position, RB1 for Denver.
Yeah.
It's constantly good.
Constantly good. And he's the RB1.
Yeah.
Everybody thought it was going to be Royce Freeman. It's been Phillip Lindsay. Phillip Lindsay is winning leagues.
Yes.
He's absolutely winning
undrafted
leagues.
by everyone.
Yeah. Tariq Cohen's a miss for me. He's one guy that's been consistently good all year. I didn't get him anywhere.
Yeah.
Phillip Lindsay I got in a big league, and I have a good shot.
Well, that's because no one thought the Bears were going to be even competent at all in offense.
No.
And there were all these names that you could consider liking: the Allen Robinsons, the Jordan Howards, the Tariq Cohens, the tight end
Trey Burton.
There's all these names that you're like, man, that's a guy that I can consider if the Bears aren't horrible. But at the beginning of the year, and even through 4 weeks, they were not a good offense.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, now Nagy's awesome, and now they're starting to figure it out. And they play crap teams every single week. I've never seen a schedule like this.
And this week, it's the Rams. Let's see how they finally do.
And we'll see how they do.
And let's see if they get Trubisky back.
He should be.
Yeah.
That's a great example of fantasy players and fans overrating a quarterback, where Vegas says that Trubisky was worth nothing against Chase Daniel. Mm-hmm. When they had Trubisky in and then they said he's not going to play and Daniel was in, the spread didn't move a single point.
Not 1 point. You're right.
And that's because he's not that good.
No, he's fantasy good, but he's not a great quarterback.
He's fantasy okay.
Well, he was good 5 weeks. He was like in the top 5 quarterbacks.
He was right. Yeah.
He's fantasy. He's fantasy legit because he runs, but he's not a great quarterback. True. He's not. I don't think Trubisky's leading them to a championship.
No,
anytime soon. But he's a start. Now I don't know if you'd start him against the Rams.
No.
But he's a start. I cannot wait for this game. That's going
to be good.
That's going to be
put it
a
on
very
Sunday night,
telling
right?
game. It's Sunday Night Football.
Good.
It's a big game for the Rams. Big game for Gurley. So shall we? Are you up for singing? You want to sing
I don't know that I can
song?
sing.
Can you
but
sing?
Okay.
Who crapped the bed?
Did you crap the bed?
Did I crap the bed?
I don't know the next song.
We all want to know
who crapped the bed. Crap the bed. Hey, there you go.
You did
all right,
it.
I know
all
it.
right, I'm gonna book
I
you.
know it.
I'm gonna book you on my show now.
Oh
That's
boy,
it. You're
don't
gonna
do
lead.
that. That would be awful.
Drew Brees. I'm just gonna read the 4 quarterbacks that crap the bed that you all have
and played.
We all have and played. Drew Brees, Jared Goff, Matt Ryan, Andrew Luck.
Andrew Luck, who had 5 weeks in a row with 3 touchdowns?
Yes.
And he got none?
He got zilch.
Nothing.
The team got zilch.
Not even nothing. They weren't even close.
No.
They barely got beyond the 30.
That was like the Jacksonville Pride game.
It was
the Jalen Ramsey, I'm going to show you finally what I'm doing. And they completely.
They're good. Like, that's a team. That's a perfect example of a team that is better than what they've shown.
Yeah.
Their talent is so unbelievably good on defense, and they just don't show it for whatever reason.
No. And if they actually get a quarterback next year, if Derek Carr goes to Jacksonville, Derek Carr with a manageable team with a great running back like Fournette, and Carr does not have to be the guy that
can't trust Fournette.
If he's healthy.
Right, but when's that going to be?
Well, that's the thing.
What year is it?
Well, last year, he had almost as many touches as Le'Veon Bell. He missed a game, but he almost had as many touches as Le'Veon Bell. If he's healthy. Now, look, he's made of paper mache. We know that. But that is who they've decided to build their team around. If they get him healthy, and you put like a quarterback like Derek Carr in that team, I very much believe in that.
And they'll probably draft an offensive player with a nice pick.
It would be nice. Get himself a good
Wouldn't
wide receiver.
shock me if they go wide receiver. They get a tight end.
Yeah.
I can already see it. That's going to be a fantasy rookie we're all going to be looking at.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And their quarterback, whoever it ends up being. Because there should be some options out there for him.
There should be. Absolutely.
Derek Carr. What is the cost on Derek Carr? Like to acquire him?
3rd round pick.
And then the salary comes with him. I would probably do that if I needed a quarterback. Yeah, I don't hate Derek Carr like most people do.
I like Derek Carr a lot. Derek Carr, 2 years ago was fantastic.
Unbelievable, and then he got hurt.
Yeah. And then last year he had a back problem, and now he's stuck with Gruden. He might as well be injured. So, he's got that mess.
And Doug Martin.
That's right.
My favorite.
And Jordy Nelson and no receivers, and they trade Amari Cooper away and the whole thing. So, yeah. Did you have who crapped the bed and running back? Mark Ingram and Tevin Coleman. I sat Mark Ingram everywhere. That was the best move I made all week. I've been in 3 leagues, did not play him once. Yep. This week he plays the Bucs, and I'm playing him everywhere.
Yep.
It's as simple as that.
He usually does fairly well against the Bucs. He usually scores a couple of touchdowns.
Yeah.
They are playing a lot more prideful with their linebackers, specifically with David coming back in. I'm not going to say don't play your Saints because they're going to score.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they're going to score. I think this is a good week to play both Bucs and Saints.
Absolutely. I play everybody.
And, yeah, I mean, I would – the only one – and this is not saying don't play him, but I wouldn't expect a monster game out of the any of the receivers beyond Michael Thomas.
I would not expect Peyton Barber to do much this week against a good
He's been scoring.
Defense.
He's been scoring,
but I don't like Peyton Barber this week. But if Deshaun Jackson's out, I love Chris Godwin. Godwin had a big week. I would start Chris Godwin, especially this week because Lattimore is going to be on Evans.
Yep.
So I think
Godwin's a no-brainer.
This is a big Godwin week, and Humphreys has been.
We're getting to the point where Humphreys is becoming a guy that you have to consider every time.
He's an every week starter.
That's crazy.
He's a wide receiver 3 at worst.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. Brate's a solid option. They usually find a way to get some points for him. Jameis is a good option. I mean, it'll be interesting to see what the Bucs are made of in that game because they still do in their own mind believe that they can run the table and have a shot here. They don't, but they at least have some pride to play for. They tend to play well against the Saints. Although I have to say, every single year, one of the 2 Saints games is a low-scoring game. And I don't know why that's the case. And the first one was far from that. That was week 1 where both teams scored on a ridiculous amount.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked if this one's like a 16-14.
Here's the over/under. What percentage of the fan base in Tampa will be New Orleans Saints fans?
No, most. Yeah,
like 50%.
Yeah.
Are we going over 50 on this?
It'll be close. Yeah. I mean, it's an embarrassing fan base that actually shows up to games, and I don't blame them. It's been 10 years, 15 years, whatever. So they've been in a playoff game.
I do remember when they won the Super Bowl.
I also remember, and that was fun, and that was also their last playoff win.
Yes.
Which is not good.
Yes. Welcome to our Vegas Fantasy / Tampa Bay Weekly.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay Bucs Weekly. Which yeah.
It's not a fun week. It's not weekly is awful.
No.
Every week.
I'll say that, but you know what? The Bucs are a fantasy relevant team. They've been a fantasy relevant team all year.
Yep, for 3 years.
Yeah.
I mean, they tend to always have that that type of guy that is going to be your consistent guy. The Mike Evans is consistent. The Cam Brates tend to be consistent. OJ tends to be consistent. When the quarterbacks play, they're consistent.
Yeah.
That was my problem.
Well, speaking of now on the Crap the Bed segment, I have Mike Evans on the Crap the Bed segment. He did not have a good week. Along with, Michael Thomas, we know the whole Saints got destroyed on Thursday.
Good. Yeah.
Julio Jones against Baltimore. I mean, they only had the ball 20 minutes. So that's the end of that, right?
Julio's a pain.
Yeah.
He's been a pain for years, too. He's the kind of guy where this guy should be getting targeted 14 times a game. He should make 9 catches a game. He should have 110 yards and 2 touchdowns, or a touchdown, or at least red zone targets. They don't throw him the ball.
No.
And all they've done for the past 3 years is add more and more and more targets around him. And what ends up happening? Nothing.
Yeah.
They just take away from their best player.
They do.
And I don't understand why that's the case. And the moment Shanahan left, they've been garbage.
But I would play Julio this week back in Green Bay. They're going to be just fine. I mean, Green Bay is going to play a very prideful game.
Green Bay will be interesting.
They'll play a very prideful game this week, but play Julio. Emmanuel Sanders, how many teams did he kill of mine this week?
You have him a lot?
Oh, I love Emmanuel Sanders.
I don't like Emmanuel Sanders.
He was great for the first 8 weeks of the year. He was terrific. Then they traded Demaryius Thomas away, and it actually killed him.
Yep.
You know?
That was the spot. That was pre-trade deadline in most leagues.
Yeah.
That was the spot you could have moved him.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that's a lesson we can learn for the future. Is now that the trade deadline is deeper in the actual NFL and the trade deadline in fantasy is beyond that, we should be able to learn from what we've seen, because I think you're going to start seeing more trades, and I think that people are going to have fun making trades around the trade deadline, because we all have our beliefs of, Emmanuel Sanders is going to be unbelievable, or Demaryius Thomas is going to help there, or Golden Tate's going to be great. Whatever you happen to believe, I think that there is something to be learned from this that I think you need to tread lightly. In every case, there's a reason they're trading away the player.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times it's not to get better. You're not trading away Demaryius Thomas to make the Denver Broncos better.
And yet
they've gotten better.
And yet they may make the playoffs. And Cortland Sutton had a breakout week
Cortland
this
Sutton's
week.
good. And Cortland Sutton's an example of the guy who steps in and is better. But the role moving up, Emmanuel Sanders moves up a spot from being kind of the second receiver to the first receiver, even though that he wasn't really ever the second receiver. It was like 1A, 1B.
Yeah.
But as he moves up to being the clear number one target and is getting the best guy on him every week, he's not going to be good every week anymore.
No.
So
they're playing the Niners this week.
Because what guy that got traded was any good other than Cooper?
Golden Tate finally showed up for Philadelphia, but he wasn't good.
It's been fine.
And what Golden Tate's done, he's absolutely destroyed Alshon Jeffrey.
Correct. And that's another.
Galladay's been up and down. Galladay 2 weeks ago was excellent. Last week was so-so. He's a hit miss. And this week it's Arizona. It's Patrick Peterson. So it's going to be an interesting matchup for them. What the hell do you do with David Johnson? I mean, you're playing him every week, right? You're not sitting him.
You have to.
Yeah.
You have to, because at some point, especially if it's a PPR league, at some point he's going to have his 100-yard receiving game where he catches 6 passes and goes 100 yards with him. At some point, he's going to have his 3-touchdown game.
Yeah. And it's going to be this week against the Lions.
And they still play. That team, for whatever reason, they're an awful team. They still play.
Yeah.
They went up. They destroyed Green Bay in that game.
They did.
So, but I wouldn't say he's a must start. I think if you have options, you can look at it. I wouldn't say like, he's a no-brainer. You got to start him.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I have a decision between him and David Johnson. Now, and Spencer Ware. This past week, if I start Spencer Ware, I would have won that league. I lost the league by a point.
Yeah.
And would have started Spencer Ware, would have won. Now this week, Spencer Ware is playing Baltimore. David Johnson is playing Detroit.
Yeah.
I'm starting David Johnson.
You got to. Yep.
Not even a question.
No.
Yeah. And my other 2 running backs
is
in
it
that
PPR?
League, it's half point PPR.
Then,
and my other 2 running backs in that league are Chubb and McCaffrey. I'm not sitting either of them.
No.
So
no.
That's it. It's between the 2 of them, and it's going to be David Johnson.
Yep.
So you know what? Roll him out there. What are you going to do if they put Chase Edmonds in the goal line? You just scream at their TV.
Boy, McCaffrey.
McCaffrey's
unreal.
Been terrific.
He's unbelievable.
Yep.
Especially in PPR.
Yep.
And that's mainly because their quarterback can't throw the ball.
He's nearly 30 points a week now.
That's because he gets these dump down passes. every single time Cam Newton threw the ball down the field, it was bad.
But they find a lot of open space for him.
And correct.
And Carolina's got receivers now,
because of Newton.
Yeah.
Because you cannot respect the dump down guy, when you know that Cam Newton can run for 25 yards.
That's it.
And I fully believe that Cam Newton's post-play antics makes teams make sure he is not the guy beating us. You'd much rather, you know what? Let Christian McCaffrey beat us. He's not going to dance around like a complete jackass in the end zone.
This is true.
I'll let him score rather than letting Cam Newton score. I know personally that's how I would be.
Yeah.
I do not ever want Cam Newton to get a first down on me. If McCaffrey gets it, fine. It's not ideal. I'd rather get off the field, but Cam Newton running for a first down is not an acceptable fate for me as a defensive player.
I get that. And they let McCaffrey beat the hell out of him.
And to think that these guys don't have emotions is ridiculous.
Oh, absolutely
They
do.
They 100% do.
100%. So now we talked about the waiver wire a little bit. Now you're not touching any of these guys. You don't believe in
None of them.
All right.
None of them. I understand your point with Pittsburgh's running back, but I think we're one too far. I think we've gone too far down the road. It was a bit of a surprise to me that James Conner was able to make it happen the entire season. But now we're on a third running back, maybe even probably should be considered a fourth running back. This guy doesn't start anywhere in this league. And we're still going to rely on him? I can't do it.
All right. I'm doing it. I'm
We'll see
all
how he
over
does.
it. He's my number one pickup. Jalen Samuels, I'm picking him up everywhere I can. Against Oakland, somebody's going to score. Because Oakland can't stop you and me.
No. Just chuck the ball
And there's
all
no
over him.
reason for them to throw the ball to Antonio and Juju all day long. They could, but I think they're going to play that a little more conservatively there. So I think Jalen Samuels.
They lost
is
this
gonna be
week,
good.
right?
They did.
And
they
they've
lost the
lost
last two.
Yeah, so
they need to win.
It wouldn't shock me if they went out and Mike Tomlin just threw the ball 40 times.
They
and
might.
They win 48-0.
Yeah.
Would not shock me. They are not a huge fan of Oakland either.
No.
Who is?
But I think I'm still going to get him. I'm getting Jeff Wilson Jr. too, if I can. Running back in San Francisco with no competition. Now they're playing Denver. It's not a good matchup. Denver's been a lot better lately. But man, again, you got a guy. Anytime you can find a guy this late in the year that's going to get 20 touches, he's an automatic pickup. You have to.
I don't.
You have to.
Because if he gets 3 yards a carry, what good is that? 6 points?
But if he gets 3 yards a carry and you're in a PPR league and he catches 5 balls and he gets in the end zone, you just got yourself a 15 point. You get a 15-point
That's
game.
a good running back.
But he just did that against. He just did that this past week against Seattle. Who's
True.
good defense.
Well, they always play well against that team for some reason. They never win, but those games are always competitive. They were getting their butts kicked.
And they were. And you got a guy. He's playing for a job. He's like, here, hire me, show me.
Yeah.
You know. Justin Jackson too. Justin Jackson comes in against Pittsburgh, is way better than Eckler, and they're playing the Bengals this week. This week you can start Jackson and Eckler this week.
Eckler's a pain.
Eckler's a pain. I'd start him this week, and I'd start them both because another team that's got the worst run defense in football right now. You saw what Lindsey did with them the other day, so I'd start both of them this weekend. They're gonna run all over the Bengals. Dante Pettis, you gonna go get him?
Depends how bad I am, and it's another guy. He seems to be one of those guys where he's going to have his big day and then he's going to have his awful day.
Yeah.
And I'm not a huge fan of those guys. It's always with this late in the waiver wire. I'm usually going to lean with the guys that have helped me get there.
Yeah.
I'm not going to take out my consistent 9, 10, 11 point receiver to try to steal a 20-point game.
But you're dealing with injuries. Like if you have AJ Green, right? You're out.
You've been dealing with that, though.
But now he's out.
You should have had an option.
All right, but if you had Alshon Jeffrey, who was good,
who
and
was
now
fun,
stinks,
who was good, and now is
right?
not good.
And if you have Emmanuel Sanders, who's been down, these are the things you're dealing with now. You have guys that got you there
that are now
who
falling
declining.
off. Yeah.
So what do you do in that situation?
Well, you go and you pick the players up. I guess
Dante Pettis up.
I guess my difference, I think, in the way that I view things is when you're picking a player up, does that mean you're playing him? It does not.
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
I'm rostering him, and if he shows it again, then I'm playing him.
See, that's where that $2 fee starts to get me because I don't think that way.
Yeah. I don't pay $2 for lead. I mean,
it's good.
But I'm paying $150 to get into the league to begin with.
Well, sure, but
so,
but we
you know.
Ours is 75.
Okay.
But I like the fact that that's in there because it does make it so that you're not people don't stream kickers as much. People don't stream defenses as much. Some people do, and they pay $15 over $16 over the course of the season. Great. I'm all for it. Go ahead, chuck another $16 in the pot. With a guy like a Dante Pettis, if I'm not going to play him, if I have 3 better options, I'll probably just sit there because there's going to be another Dante Pettis next week. His name's not going to be Dante Pettis, but it's going to be another Dante Pettis.
It'd be amazing if his name was Dante Pettis.
And then just a second Dante Pettis.
There'd be 2 Dante Pettises.
That would be impressive.
That'd be amazing.
That would be.
There's
odd. 2 Sebastian Ahos in hockey.
That's true.
Yeah.
Right? So, you never know.
What are the chances of that?
Yeah, or you can get the Morris twins in basketball.
There's also the Golden Knights' second-round pick from 2018. His name is Ivan Morozov.
Right.
There is another Ivan Morozov that was eligible for the same draft and went undrafted.
See?
They could have 2 Ivan Morozovs.
So if you can have 2 Ivan Morozovs, you can definitely have 2 Dante Pettis.
That sounds like a hell of a team.
Absolutely.
Multiple Pettises, multiple Morozovs.
Mm-hmm. That's my fantasy name for next year. Multiple Morozovs.
Multiple Morozovs.
Multiple Morozovs.
I mean, there's still the dream in my head of multiple Carlsons, but that didn't come.
Well, listen, my girlfriend, I think she'd be okay with that.
Yeah,
too.
I can use all the Carlsons. Melker, John, Eric, William. I'll take them all. This is a football podcast.
She'd be way okay with that.
I want all the Pettises.
Antonio Callaway.
I'm going to say an inappropriate joke before we move on to Anthony Callaway based on Pettis. The White Sox, when I used to go to White Sox games,
Gary Pettis.
Their third base coach was Gary Pettis, or the first base coach was Gary Pettis, and he used to stand next to the first base coach whose name was Johnson, and it would say "Pet his Johnson."
Oh, jeez.
And I always found that comical. Moving on, Antonio Callaway.
Antonio Callaway, what do you think?
He's a no. It's the same thing. You get enthralled with a nice week, and you're like, ooh, maybe he'll do it again. Where's he been?
It's 3 nice weeks though. 3 nice weeks in a row. Yes.
What are the numbers?
I don't know the numbers offhand.
I'm pulling them up.
But like they're pretty good. Like it's 80. I think 80 yards this past week. The week before he scored a touchdown. I'm okay with Antonio Callaway. He's becoming the guy in Cleveland. They're playing Carolina. Carolina's defense has been terrible lately.
Trying to find the numbers here.
Right.
I want some exact numbers.
Yes.
Maybe I'm not paying enough attention to an Antonio Callaway. That is certainly possible. 3 catches, 84 yards. 4 catches, 62 yards. 2 catches, 39 yards. 3 catches, 51. Yeah, that's a no for me.
Okay.
You cannot rely on a player who is producing touchdowns and big time yards on 1, 2, 3 catches. I can't do it. That's your boom or bust. If I need the 70-yard catch to make me have a good week, I don't want that player. And this is the opposite of what I say about your 20-touch running back. I want 11 targets to my.
You're not going to find that.
Probably not. Probably not.
No. Like Dante Pettis,
but you should have him
4
already.
Or 5. But
you should have him.
But
already.
they're only 7 or 8 guys that are getting you 11 targets as wide receiver. Wide receiver is basically a matchup play every week. You're trying to find the guy that's going to break out every week. But it's different every week.
His highest target is 11.
Yeah.
That happened in week 6. He has 6'5", 6'2", 9'4", 152. There is a 10 in there in week 3.
Mm-hmm.
But the target number is just so low, and you're asking for the one big play. I'm not a big play guy. I just don't think they're reliable.
I'm still rostering the guy. I have him rostered. I would go get him. I think you're trying to find edges and angles here. Now, look, are you playing him over Emmanuel Sanders? No. Are you playing him over a big guy? No. But are you playing him over Alshon Jeffrey? You're considering it.
Who they playing?
They're playing Carolina.
Who is...
terrible right now.
Not good.
No.
Not good.
Not good.
Not good.
Free fall.
You're still... I mean, I guess maybe the philosophy is different on touchdowns. How do you view touchdowns?
Touchdowns are fluky.
That's kind of the way I view
them. They're a
them,
little fluky. I'm just looking for games where I think there's going to be points scored. Like this week, I'd be surprised if Browns-Panthers is below 50.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be points.
Yeah. Where
I
is
like
it?
Mayfield
is
a
it
lot.
in Cleveland?
It's in Cleveland.
That makes it worse.
It does.
Could have some weather,
And
some wind.
Landry, with the ways that the games have been going this year, when they're trailing, it's Landry. When they're leading, it's somebody else. It's Njoku.
Yeah.
It's Callaway. And I think they have a good shot to beat Carolina this week. So
12 games, 33 receptions.
not great.
That's not good.
Not great. Better
it's
as
not like he's been
better
missing
as the year went on,
games.
and he just missed a touchdown. He fumbled at the friggin' goal line this week.
Yeah. Oh,
But he
that's right.
But he was this close
That
to
was
being
a
in the end
touchdown.
zone.
Yeah.
That was a touchdown. And he's talented. The guy is majorly talented.
I've gotten way away from that. I used to be a huge fan of that.
Yeah.
Where I would look at the guy in the draft and I'm like, ooh, the combine numbers, I get all pumped about that, and then I fall in love with the guys that are uber talented. I've gotten away from that. I'm fine with your Adam Humphreys. I'm fine with your guys who aren't talented, quite frankly, but get the numbers, but get the touches, get the targets.
Adam Humphreys is getting major targets.
And he's by no means talented.
No, but he's definitely
he's
getting a lot of
good
targets.
option.
Yeah, no, he's a very good option.
And that's because they throw the ball 40 times.
That's true.
But there's plenty of other guys that aren't horribly talented that you can roster that are going to get more action.
Yeah.
Than an Antonio Callaway who proves that he's going to be a 1, 2, 3 catch a game guy.
Well, there's not much out there. You're looking at two receivers this week, Dante Pettis and Antonio Callaway, that might be on waivers. You can go get if you need a receiver. And again, we look at waiver wires as need-based. I mean, we're not picking these guys up and starting them over studs.
Yeah.
We're picking them up for situations where you have Alshon Jeffrey, and he's been killing you. Or you have, I'm trying to think of other players. If you have AJ Green, and he's gone for the year. I mean, you need to consider these guys.
Yep.
You need to consider Zay Jones. Even though I probably don't want to start that guy.
No.
But you have to consider him, especially in a deep league. I have a league where I have to start 4 wide receivers. I'm considering Zay Jones in a league like that.
In a league where you start 4 wide receivers, one of them should be boom or bust.
Right.
One of them should be, and you should have the super boom or bust guy.
And last week for me was Traquan Smith, who got a big fat 0.
It was awful.
I still won.
But you had the option of that being big, and it was the week before.
Mm-hmm.
So that with 4, okay, Dante Pettis, Antonio Callaway, I'll take my shot that they get the touchdown, that I know maybe I'm getting 2 or 3 targets and probably 1 or 2 of them's down the field.
Yeah.
But if I'm relying on a Zay Jones to win me a game to get into the fantasy playoffs, I got problems.
That's definitely true. Wouldn't want to rely on it, but it's considerable. So now Leonard Fournette's coming back this week. We just got the James Conner news. He ain't playing this week.
Nope.
Matt Breida's not playing this week. Chris Carson.
God, he's annoying.
He's annoying as hell.
Oh, is he annoying?
Annoying as hell. You have Rashad Penny on your roster if you have Chris Carson on your roster. You need him.
You've been saying that the whole year, and I've had Chris Carson the whole year, and I've had options to get Rashad Penny. I don't like having to make that choice.
I don't either.
Definitely not playing them both.
No. You're playing Carson, and then if Carson gets hurt, you have Penny to play next week.
But Carson's not even worth playing in most cases.
No, he's a consistent 12 to 15 point back.
Not really.
Every week.
He is?
Oh, yeah. Every week, 12 to 15
I feel like
points.
he's 8 or 9.
No, he's 12 to 15 almost every single week, and especially if he gets in the end zone.
Which never happens.
Well, they throw the ball at the end zone now.
He never gets
He's a pretty consistent 12 to 15 point guy every week. So, and I definitely am.
69 rushing yards, 55 rushing yards, 83 rushing yards, 40 rushing yards, 105, 59, 116. He had a little stretch there where he was over 100 3 out of 4 weeks. But 69 rushing yards, 55. He had a touchdown that week, 53. He's your classic 2.5 RB 2.5.
Yeah, that's what he is. He's a flex. He's your flex RB. He's your flex RB.
But you drafted him to be a better player than that.
Most of the time he was drafted in the 7th or 8th round. So you probably drafted 20 to 25 RBs
that's fair.
Ahead of him. Last 3 weeks, 13.8 in a PPR, 14.3, 12.3. For a flex, I'm good with that.
Yeah, for
I'm
a flex,
okay
that's fine.
Yeah, now they're playing Minnesota this week. Good luck with that. Not sure that's going to be so good. And we asked about, in terms of news and notes, we're wondering if Mitchell Trubisky is going to start. Are you playing him against the Rams? Are you starting him, streaming him?
I don't buy the Rams defense as much.
No do I.
Because of the fact that they score so much. They do have the ability to shut teams down, but their offense, they're going to get some points. The question is, against the Bears, that has all the makings of a low-scoring game. And it also has all the makings of a game that they want Mitch Trubisky to not open it up. They've started to let him open it up more and more, but it's because they're playing bad teams. I wonder what they're going to do in a game where they're playing a good team. And in a game that they're now in a spot where if they keep losing, if they lose this one and they moved 8-5, and all of a sudden Minnesota's right there behind them again, things can get interesting for them, especially with that Minnesota tie.
Yeah.
Things can get interesting. They should win that division, but they should be looking at this game as not only a way to win their division right now, they basically win the division if they beat the Rams, but also kind of a measuring stick. And I think it's also a little bit of a trial run of how are we going to play when we play that playoff game.
Absolutely.
And
it's
I think
huge game for the Bears.
I think the answer is not putting much on the shoulders of Mitch Trubisky. So I think that he's going to be a guy you want to shy away from. And it's not because of the defense they're playing. It's because they're playing a good team and they're going to try this dry run of can we win games with our defense and our defense only and not turning the ball over.
If they're playing from behind, though, Mitch Trubisky runs. And Mitch Trubisky is going to have to get some – they're going to have to.
You're not going to run a ton against that defense.
No, but if they're playing from behind, that's when he scores.
How far have they been down?
They haven't been down much.
Right.
But again, this is the Rams.
They're better.
Rams should be –
Bears defense is good, though.
Should beat them.
Bears, I agree. The Bears defense is very good, though. I'd be surprised if the Bears are ever down by more than 17.
Yeah, that's going to – no, I don't see that.
And if it's 14, I think you stick with your plan. 14 late, okay, fine. If it's the fourth quarter, they start running, you might grab some garbage points. I would look elsewhere. I think there's going to be better quarterback options. Possibly. Especially because we're not 100% sure he's going to play.
I'll tell you who I'm not starting is Goff.
No, nobody
Goff.
Against the Bears.
I'm
nobody
Goff.
against the Bears.
I have a Goff-Winston choice, and I've already put Winston in there, and I'm sleeping like a baby, and I'm quite okay with that.
Especially if you have turnovers as minus.
Yeah, no.
Some leagues play with it, some leagues don't. If turnovers are a minus, fumbles from your quarterback, interceptions from your quarterback, I've seen leagues where sacks hurt your quarterback. You can't play a guy against the Bears.
No, not only that, they're now turning to Gurley.
Yeah.
This is going to be Gurley's time. And they've lost Cooper Kupp. It hurts the receiving core a little bit. So I think Goff is somebody you're going to start fading down the stretch anyway. So, and now there's a few things we can talk about on this segment this week. I'm sure you've got something. Yeah. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah. Let's see.
Friday afternoon, for some of you on the East Coast who listen to this, you hear that Kareem Hunt is a video has come out.
Yeah, that's probably one.
Oh, yeah.
I do not understand how these videos come out in week 13, week 14.
I don't either.
I just don't get it.
I don't understand how the NFL can't get a hold of them.
They do have a hold of them.
Yeah, I don't, do we really believe the NFL just sits on this and just they bury it and hoping that it's not going to come out?
Yeah, I think that's exactly what happens.
That's amazing. Well,
I think that's exactly what happens.
And you see your fantasy championships going up in smoke because now you got to rely on Spencer Ware. And even if you don't have Spencer Ware, yeah,
one. It seems like there's always one stupid one like this.
Oh, yeah.
Around the back end of the season, right before fantasy playoff season. And yeah, Kareem Hunt's the clear one.
Yep.
Like that kills you.
Yep.
That was a number one back.
Absolutely.
That is out for no reason.
Right.
For no football reason at all,
no.
He's out.
And now might be out for over a year because there's more stuff
never
that
play again.
He may never play again.
I don't think he will.
I thought he would after that. Now I'm hearing that there's other incidences. Yeah. Now I'm not so sure. And it's just stupidity.
Yep.
There's just no other word for it. No other word for it at all. And also, you have Sony Michel. Things are going well until you get to the goal line, and James Devlin comes in and takes a touchdown away.
How many times does he have to do that before people consider James Devlin?
I can never consider James Devlin. If touchdowns are fluky.
But but they score enough.
They do.
They are very.
How many touchdowns does James Devlin have this year?
That's a good question.
I don't think he has more than 3.
No?
I don't think he has a lot.
Because I feel like every week, this damn thing is happening. It's probably not true, but.
Well, this is why we look things up.
That's right. That's why we have phones and fact checking.
But what does that do? Do you stop playing? You stop playing Sony Michel? No, you don't stop playing Sony Michel.
He has 3, but they've come in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, once against Tennessee.
No.
Against the Jets, he didn't touch the ball.
No.
And he got 2 against Minnesota.
So you're never going to play him.
You're never going to play him.
Touchdown only league. Have you ever played in a touchdown only league?
I would never dare play in a touchdown only league. I'd rather not play fantasy football.
Quarterbacks are everything in that. Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah, forget that.
Yeah.
So.
And Todd Gurley.
Quarterbacks
and Todd Gurley.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. How? I think that's going to be our Are you f***ing kidding me for me?
Yes, it is.
It is impossible to back up Todd Gurley's last year. Like, NFL history tells you Todd Gurley cannot do this again. He's doing it.
You know the only player that's done it?
LT?
Marshall Faulk.
Okay.
From the Rams.
Okay.
Yeah.
Completely different Rams organization at that time.
But same
it's
amazing
the same
offense.
Yeah, similar amazing offense. It's and I was never in this position. Both of the leagues that I drafted in, I did not have a shot at Todd Gurley. But I can already know I probably would not have picked Todd Gurley number 1 overall.
Yeah.
And looking back, obviously you're like, well, you're an idiot. Well, of course, but I do believe in, and it's not regression. It's just the way that sports work.
Right.
It just doesn't happen twice in a row, and he's doing it and more.
Yeah.
And all the other options. Which one of those options do you want now? Le'Veon Bell, David Johnson, Alvin Kamara is a good option still, but even now he's not nearly what he was. No. It's not even close if you were to redraft.
The only guy you're going to consider number 1 overall over Todd Gurley next year is Saquon Barkley.
Yep.
The only guy you're going to consider.
Yep. And I'm going to sit there and say Todd Gurley can't do it 3 years in a row.
Right. But even if he doesn't do that, he's not going to go away.
He might.
Not going to completely go away. No. Not like that.
He got hurt year 1.
Listen, people get hurt. You can't be that afraid.
You can't play that game. I agree.
Can't play that game.
But if your number 1 overall pick is scoring you 6 touchdowns, and it wouldn't shock me if you had that year.
Bad.
It wouldn't shock me. That's what happens. That's what running backs do. Will that happen? I thought it was going to happen this year.
Yeah, didn't happen this year.
No, well.
Depends how much you believe in the Rams, too. Also, if the Rams don't win a championship and they're still hungry to win a championship, I would actually go for Gurley one more time.
Go for him again.
Because I think this is what it is.
Our Vegas Fantasy 2019.
Our Vegas Fantasy 2019. We're going to discuss this in the summertime.
Coming to a Spotify near you.
All right. Hey, my overthought of the week. This is what killed me this week. I lost one of my leagues last night because of this. I sat, it's a super flex league. And I'm already dying in this league. I had A.J. Green in this league. I had James White, who finally came back. I had Jordan Howard, who's been such a mess. But this league went from really, really good to really, really bad. And they were fighting for a playoff spot last night. And I chose Colt McCoy over Derek Carr as my quarterback too. And at the end of the first quarter, I realized that my season was over.
Yeah.
But you know what?
What was the thought process there?
Well, I hadn't played Derek Carr since week 7. I played Ryan Fitzpatrick for a few weeks, and then I couldn't have him, so I played Colt McCoy. I played Colt McCoy last week. It was absolutely the right decision.
Colt McCoy on the road
in Philadelphia,
in Philly, in a game they had to win on Monday Night Football. You have to figure Derek Carr's going to be in garbage time at some point.
Maybe, but his last 2 weeks, Derek Carr hasn't reached 10 points.
True.
And Colt McCoy was playing against a Philadelphia secondary that's starting 3 reserves.
That is bad. Wow.
Now, I'll tell you this. Watching that game last night in the first quarter, even before McCoy got injured, I'm thinking to myself, I'm not winning this.
Yep.
I'm not winning this because Philadelphia came to play tonight, and they're going to shut down McCoy. And other than Adrian Peterson getting a 90-yard touchdown run, Washington did nothing last night. Yeah. So I don't think that the injury killed me. What are you going to do? That team it didn't happen. We can bury my team called Green Giant because of that.
That's both of them.
Yes. I have Green Giant is out. Jet Lagged is out.
Jet Blue? Do you have a Jet Blue?
I have a Jet Blue,
okay, good.
and they got to buy.
Yeah.
Flotsam Jetsams out. Shoulders of Giants is out, and Gentle Giant is out. The other 19 are alive.
We're all in.
All in.
What's the best team?
The best team is Kenny and the Jets is one of the best teams.
That's a good one.
They're 11-2. That's a league that Tom's in. He's 12-1. That's one of the best teams. I have a team. My original fantasy team was called Big Blue Gangrene. Big Blue is the giant nickname.
Yep.
And that keep that name. That team's really good. Mental Giant is good.
Mental Giant.
Jet Engine is the Mahomes-Connor team. Mahomes-Connor-Antonio Brown team. So we get Connor back. I'll take my chances on that. I need Connor back, though. That's a really good one. But JetBlue, if Melvin Gordon comes back by week 15, it gets a bye.
Yeah.
So Melvin Gordon's back in week 15.
Yep.
JetBlue can win a championship. That's a big money league.
Melvin Gordon's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Because when he comes back, how does he look when he comes back? How long does he stay in when he comes back? I mean, you're going to be in the playoffs. You're going to be deep in the playoffs. You're going to want to start him when he plays. It would not shock me if Melvin Gordon plays 15 touches or 15 plays and then it's done for the rest of the game.
You know, and here's the other thing you have to consider with Melvin Gordon. If the division's out of reach,
they'll keep him out.
They don't need it.
They're going to want to get him back in there to see what he's got, because so instead of doing it in the playoffs. But yeah, that's a tough spot.
Now, week 15 though, I'm all in on Gordon if he plays because they're playing Kansas City. That's the game of the year.
For sure.
So
but
that's it. Week 16 is the championship game, so we'll see about that week.
And
we'll get to that week when we get to that week.
I can already
15,
feel it.
Playing him.
I can already feel it. Melvin Gordon's going to kill fantasy teams.
And you know who else might kill fantasy teams is Phillip Rivers, because there's one of these cardinal rules in fantasy. I don't care how bad the Kansas City defense is. You don't start Phillip Rivers in Kansas City.
Yeah.
Ever. Look at Phillip Rivers' numbers in Kansas City over the years. And I'm going to do it.
If I had him, I would do it.
I'd have to. Especially this year because Kansas City's even is so bad. And Phillip Rivers is having a great season.
Yes, he is.
A great season.
He's good.
He's good.
It's been good forever.
Oh, yeah. But this year in particular, they've got it all figured out.
Yep.
It's really good this year. And yet, they'll still crap the bed in Kansas City. So, all right, let's get some starter sit questions.
I don't think I can sing her
I was going to say, we don't have Brittany this week. We don't have anybody. We're not singing it this week. So, starter sit. There you go. That's my song. How about that? So,
just play the thing at the end.
Should we do? Starter sit.
Oh, no, I thought you just...
Starter sit. Starter sit. That's what you want. You want the glissando? Is that what you want? It's all about the glissando.
You didn't even have to play... That's it.
That's
just move on. That's the change. All right, hit me.
All right, Lamar Miller or T.Y. Hilton? T.Y. Hilton against Houston.
Ooh.
Killed Baker Mayfield this week. Lamar Miller against Indianapolis. Who are you starting?
I would lean towards T.Y. I don't think that Andrew Luck's going to have 2 bad weeks in a row. I agree. Houston, good defense. They're going to get to him. But I think that as long as Luck isn't awful, and he has been not that for most weeks this season, T.Y. is going to be a fairly good play. And I don't think I could live with myself if T.Y. has a good week and I didn't play him.
My worry with Indianapolis going forward is this. Fantasy-wise, losing Jack Doyle was not that big a deal.
Right.
In real life, that's a big deal. It's a really big deal. When Jack Doyle was in there, Andrew Luck was not getting sacked. And this week, Jacksonville beat the crap out of them. I'm a little concerned with the Colts going forward because of that.
Yep.
I have a little bit of concern there. And before that, the Colts were, I believe, 2-6 at one point this year.
They were.
They were playing really well lately.
Yep.
I definitely have concerns about that.
I would not want to be in the situation where I played Lamar Miller and T.Y. had his 2-3 touchdowns.
Absolutely right. And my only problem with Lamar Miller, he's been killing it lately. But in PPR, Lamar Miller doesn't catch passes.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Yep.
Lamar Miller needs a touchdown.
Yep. Has to.
T.Y. Hilton can wreck a game. And I would feel really, really mad if I kept 30 points on the bench with T.Y. Hilton. Jalen Richard or Tevin Coleman. Right now, for me, it's anybody but Tevin Coleman.
Yep. That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
I wouldn't play Tevin Coleman.
I think I'm going Jalen Richard there, too. That's
What's the matchup?
Jalen Richard plays Pittsburgh. Tevin Coleman plays Green Bay.
Yeah, Green Bay will be better this week.
I believe so.
Green Bay's going to play your classic coach got fired, play a little bit better for the 1 week game.
Not only that, but 10 touches a game.
Yeah.
For Tevin Coleman, you can't play the guy.
No.
Forget it. Don't touch him.
Yep, it's Richard.
So, all right, we got a bunch of starter questions.
All right.
from our friend Danielle in New Jersey, who's actually coming to Vegas tomorrow, so I can answer these in person.
Nice.
But let's see what we got here. Start 2 of these 5.
Okay.
Josh Adams, Deion Lewis, Isaiah Crowell, Gus Edwards, or Jeff Wilson Jr., assuming that you can pick him up off waivers.
Start with Adams. Right.
Adams is playing Dallas. Careful with that. Start with Gus Edwards because they're playing Kansas City.
Okay.
That's a must.
Yeah, all right.
Gus Edwards, yes.
Lewis
No
was
way.
on there, right?
Yeah. Jacksonville.
Oh, yeah. Well, but was that their week? Was that
It might
their
have been
one
their
week?
week.
Was that their 1 week to say, you know what, we aren't that bad, but now they're going to go back and get all overconfident? I wouldn't mind Deion Lewis in that spot. I don't. How are we in this spot?
Here's
You picked
Deion
2 of those
Lewis's.
5.
Here's Deion Lewis's last 4 games in PPR. 5.4, 11.1, not
Okay.
bad. 4.2,
Yikes.
8.8.
And who are the opponents in those
Jets,
games?
Houston, Indianapolis, New England.
He did well against Houston?
Yes, 11.1.
And he
that's
did well-
not even well.
and who was the
you know
other one?
And you know the best game he's had all year against the Cowboys, 22.2
Yeah.
on Monday Night Football.
All right, so who are your 2?
And they're playing Jacksonville. So it's Josh Adams, Isaiah Crowell. I hate Isaiah Crowell.
I agree.
I'm not playing Isaiah
Can't
Crowell.
stand him.
And then there's Jeff Wilson if you get him on waivers.
You're gonna.
These are the situations we're talking about. Like when do you play these guys?
I wouldn't play him. I'd play one of the other ones.
Okay.
I might even play Crowell.
So you're playing. You would play Crowell and Edwards, or maybe Adams and Edwards.
Play Adams and Edwards.
I'd lean toward Adams and Edwards. I'm considering Wilson. I'm
Wow.
absolutely considering Wilson in that.
I didn't realize Lewis was that bad.
I can't play Crowell, and I can't play Lewis right now. I can't do it.
That's fair.
I can't do it. So
fair.
I would consider Wilson. I'm playing Gus Edwards. That's the one I'm playing for
Yep.
sure against Kansas City.
Yep.
Playing him
Yep.
if he's healthy, 100%. Josh Adams is a maybe because they're playing the Cowboys, and the Cowboys are tough.
They are.
And that's the game of the year for the Eagles.
Yep.
This is the season.
Yep.
It is. They win that game, and they have a shot
In good
winning the
shape.
division.
They don't.
They
They're in
lose that
trouble.
game. The Cowboys win.
See
The
ya.
Cowboys have a 2-game lead with three to play, and they win the tiebreaker. So
Yep.
that's it. So question number 2: start Alshon Jeffrey or take a shot on Dante Pettis or Curtis Samuel.
I do not like Alshon Jeffrey, and I think we're at the point where it's hard to say that you can expect anything out of him.
And they're playing Dallas.
So yeah. So after I just said how awful Dante Pettis is, I'm going to pick Dante Pettis.
I'm picking Curtis Samuel in that situation against Cleveland.
I am so anti
You're anti-Panthers receivers
Cam Newton.
because of
I
Cam Newton.
just don't trust him.
Yeah, but you trust him over Nick Mullins?
No,
Okay.
I don't.
You want Nick Mullins instead?
I mean, not necessarily. Like, if I'm starting a season with do I get Nick Mullins or Cam Newton? But Curtis Samuels doesn't get Cam Newton. Curtis Samuels gets Cam Newton, the thrower.
Yeah.
That's a huge difference.
You're right.
Who's a better passer? Nick Mullins.
But who's got the better offense and who's got the better scheme?
Panthers, for sure.
Yes.
For sure they do.
Yeah.
But
And which game's going to have more points?
you also have new running back there.
Mm-hmm.
They may throw the ball more.
Pettis has been great.
I would probably take Pettis.
I would consider Pettis for sure. And this is what we're talking about when we're talking about the waiver wire situation. There are teams that are in the playoffs. There are teams that are going to fantasy playoffs that have issues like
Yep.
this.
Yeah.
This is why you have to consider these guys. This is why Antonio Callaway gets considered. This is why Dante Pettis gets
That's
considered.
just sad.
But it's fantasy
I
football.
wish there were better players.
This is what fantasy football
Yeah.
is. You know? Would you bench Rob Gronkowski for Ian Thomas, who's going to take over at tight end for the Panthers?
No.
I'm not either. Ian Thomas hasn't shown you anything.
Yeah, no.
I can't do it.
I can't do it either.
No, I can't do it.
Where was Ian Thomas the rest of that game?
Right. No, I can't do it.
And that's not, I mean, he went out early, and Buccaneers are terrible against tight ends. Where was he?
And Gronk's a pain in the neck, but I'm not sitting Gronk.
If he's in, he's in. If
Yeah.
he's in, you play him.
Right.
If
Because he can blow up.
Yeah, and he will
And he can score a
eventually.
touchdown.
Yeah, no.
And they're playing Miami this week.
He can score 3
Yeah.
touchdowns.
Now here's a good question.
Ian Thomas ain't scoring 3
No,
touchdowns.
no. You're right. Now here's a question. Do the Patriots beat the Dolphins? The Patriots do not play well
beat
in
the
Miami.
Dolphins.
That's a question.
They'll beat the
They're
Dolphins.
going to beat the Dolphins.
This Dolphins team's a joke.
Yeah.
They should have lost to the Bills.
Yeah.
If Charles Clay can catch, they lose. I still can't believe that play.
Mm-hmm.
Underthrows him, comes back and drops it.
That
Oh
cost
my
me a
God.
parlay.
Did it?
My
Ugh.
parlay,
Ugh.
Cowboys, Ravens,
Wow.
Bills.
Yeah.
That cost me
Points
the
or
parlay.
money line?
All money line.
Ooh,
cost me the
so that would have
parlay.
been a good. That would have been
I
good.
had it. I had it in
would've
his
been good
hands.
money, too.
I had it
Yeah.
in his hands, and he couldn't. Charles Clay can't catch a ball.
Catch the ball.
Are you kidding
Yeah.
me?
Catch the ball. Catch the ball.
Good Lord. And here's Danielle's last question. I think it's worth asking. What kind of alcohol will get her through Sunday's game? She's an Eagle fan against the Cowboys.
I would recommend going to Lee's Discount Liquor and
Okay.
buying the brand new Golden Knights Jack Daniels bottle.
Really? Okay.
It's
I do not
$100.
drink, so I am not one to answer this question.
I
I'm gonna
also
leave
don't.
Oh, really? That's right. Ken does not drink
But
either.
that's
so
why-
two guys that don't drink are going to recommend to you what you should pick up.
Correct. Jack Daniels. And it's 50 of the $100 go to the Golden Knights Foundation.
Oh,
so
that alone.
That's why you should do it.
that's your
And the
reason
bottle's
alone.
awesome.
Absolutely.
And it'll wind up on your shelf. It's a cool bottle. It's got one logo on each side. Go buy one of those.
Absolutely.
It's $100. $50 goes to charity. It's like a year. It's a pretty good bottle of wine too. It's
Yeah.
not like regular Jack Daniels, like fancy. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's some fancy Jack Daniels.
All right.
Yeah.
There you go.
Do
that's
that.
That's what you're doing.
There's your answer.
There's your answer. And as we come to a close
Oh boy.
in week 13 to week 14,
This is a big one too.
there's a lot of people
This
here.
is a big one.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to bury the fantasy season of AJ Green,
Ooh.
Greg Olson, Christian Kirk, and for
And
the
that's
hell
it.
of it,
I
Colt
was gonna
McCoy.
say, why? Don't even.
I'm throwing Colt McCoy in there because he cost me a league.
He did it.
AJ, second round pick in a lot of leagues. Can't seem to stay healthy anymore.
Nope.
Greg Olson, you have officially reached the fantasy age of 90 years old. It's time, Greg Olson. That's the end. And Christian Kirk of the Arizona Cardinals.
Yep.
Promising young rookie.
Yeah.
We'll see him next year.
Yeah.
But may they all rest in peace. Just like The Undertaker.
Even you, Colt
Rest
McCoy.
in peace. And there you go.
Even you, Colt
Even
McCoy.
you, Colt McCoy.
I don't know why he even belongs on there.
No, because he was the quarterback for the Redskins.
Well, that's fine, but
So-
like you probably shouldn't have had him in the first
in
place.
a two quarterback league.
Okay.
You have to roster those guys.
We're burying guys that are going down on 2 quarterback
Yes,
leagues. Jeez.
absolutely. He
Jeez.
cost me a league. I'm burying him on purpose. And that is the Week 13 edition, Week 14, because we go week forward. So the Week 14 edition of our Vegas Fantasy. So you can check us out on Spotify, iTunes. Next week, we're going to record on Monday because on the 11th, we are doing at the Tuscany our annual drive for the Nevada Partnership for Homeless Youth. Ann Martinez and I are doing a 3-hour show with a bunch of singers in Las Vegas
Wow.
starting at 9:30. It's our 6th year doing this. So that's what my Tuesday is going to be spent doing all day
That's
long.
awesome.
It's going to be all that. So come to the Tuscany if you're in town on Tuesday night, the 11th, and come hang and hear some Christmas songs sung by a bunch of singers that you like and some that they're really
you.
cool. And me, exactly.
Right.
That's exactly what I was trying to
Yep.
say. And you got it
Yep.
right there. There you go. Thank you. I appreciate
You're
that.
welcome.
But that's why we're going to recording our Vegas Fantasy with Christina back next on Monday. And check us out, Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, and the whole thing. And want to thank Ken Bulkey
You got it.
for joining us. And go check out simbin.vegas. He runs a great blog and a great Twitter handle about the Golden Knights and has become a great voice on the Golden Knights in this town.
And apparently
So-
too mean, but also too nice.
Well, that's Twitter for you.
I'm too mean, but I'm also I like too many players.
I'm gonna start getting on Twitter
tough.
just to be mean.
Just to
what do you think? What do you
make
think?
a burner account
Yeah.
and just attack me
Right.
for no reason.
I can do that.
That's great.
That's what Twitter is, isn't it? So my name's Kenny Davidson,
Ken Bulkey.
and we'll see you next time. Bye, folks.
See ya.